Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about some of my favorite games on the Switch. This is not a cohesive and complete list. This isn't a top 10 or top whatever list either. These are just games that I tried to pick something from all different types of genres. Games that I highly recommend so that maybe you just got a Switch for Christmas. Maybe you got a Switch for your birthday. Maybe you just got a Switch for yourself. Treat yourself. Just a list of a good starting point. Maybe a helpful little guide, a games list guide, just to help you get started and maybe look into these types of games. Something else to clarify too, these are not Nintendo first-party games. I'm trying to go elsewhere with this. I'm trying to, not recommend the Marios, the Zeldas, the Mario Karts, Donkey Kongs, things like that. I'm trying to go with more third-party or just other than Nintendo first-party games. Many of these games you could probably find on other platforms too, so maybe you see these on the Switch and you go, I want to get that for my platform of choice. You could do that as well. I'm just choosing these because they are really good on the Switch as well. And again, this is, just to reiterate, this is not my top 10 of all time or a top 10 list there. These are just 10 games on your Switch that I highly recommend. I think that you'd have fun with, and there's a wide variety here, so I'm hoping that you find something in this list. These are not in any specific order. These are not like a top 10, like, from number 10, 9, 8. They're just there. They're all just a group of games, a good group of games that I highly recommend for your Switch. So let me just start yapping here about all these clarifiers, and let's just get into the games, yeah? Okay, we are going to start this list off strong with The Messenger. This side-scrolling action platforming game is simply fantastic. You play as a messenger, one who needs to, deliver a message to a specified location. Snappy and humorous dialogue, excellent visuals that change from 8-bit to 16-bit. Oh, and there's a reason for that, but I don't want to spoil anything because it is just so darn good. This game has a lot to offer. As good as the visuals are, the platforming mechanics in this game are superb. Though the game will definitely push you to get better, it never feels harsh or hopeless. It has a way of drawing you in to just try one more time. Now, if you want a real challenge, then going for all the extra collectibles will give you plenty. Oh, and did I mention there's a whole chunk of DLC named Picnic Panic that the developers added after launch for free? One final note, or perhaps it's more of a warning, the music in this game will get stuck in your head for all eternity. It is so freaking good. I cannot praise this enough. This game is an all-around delight in platforming goodness, and this is sure to please many new Switch owners. This game is dangerous on the Switch. Why? Well, let me tell you my initial experience with Stardew Valley. I began playing and it was extremely fun. Building up my farm from scratch, helping folks in town with various tasks and needs, searching for valuable ore and taking down enemies in the mines, and growing my own crops. It was all incredibly engaging. The dangerous part is that it would be late at night and I'd make my way to bed, but not before grabbing my Switch out of the dock and taking it to bed with me. I'd lay there thinking, I'll play for 15 to 20 minutes, then go to sleep, only to realize 2 hours later I needed to, actually go to sleep. This game is perfect on a hybrid console like the Switch, and it works great in both docked and handheld. Oh, and if you jump in now, you have the ability to play with others online. This game is a delight, but it can cause you to lose track of time, so beware. I originally skipped this game when it released on the PS4 and Xbox One, only because I had so many other games to play at the time. Plus, I hadn't experienced a good Alien game and it had been a while. When it released on Switch, I thought it might be a good time to check it out, and geez, I'm very glad that I did. This game is scary, like walking around a ship and trying to avoid confrontations with rogue androids who believe they are just trying to help you, and crew who have gone mad because of the horrible things they've experienced is bad enough. But throw in a scary freaking xenomorph that you can hear all throughout the ship and could possibly be hiding around any corner or vent, and and this game gets stressful, but in a good way. I played through this game first while the Switch was docked, but subsequent playthroughs, including the awesome DLC included, which I won't spoil here, and handheld with headphones on, well, I almost couldn't do it. This game legit freaked me out, and playing this game in handheld mode with the headphones on, it's just fantastic. These games, I have never really been into looter shooters, but the Borderlands games are an exception. Looter shooters, just in case you're not sure what that means, are games that have lots of shooting and lots of looting, or items and gear that you gain to upgrade your character. These games focus on how you want to build out your character and rely on a simple but effective game loop. Select a mission, go shoot some faces, get the good loot you discover along the way to completing the mission, then turn in for even more loot. Why I recommend the Borderlands games is that they have a very unique art style, the online multiplayer works very well and is extremely fun with friends, and it has stupid humor. Sure, some of the humor is dated and it's very, let's say, immature, but the characters are memorable, the gameplay is tight, the games perform well on Switch in both docked and handheld, and grabbing more loot and finishing missions is just so addictive. I've bought these games on 3 different platforms because of reasons, and the Switch version is my favorite just because I can play in handheld. As a note, though all these games are fun, my personal recommendation if you only want to pick up one of these games is Borderlands 2. That game is easily the best of the 3 in my opinion. Okay, this one is one of my all-time personal favorites. The term Metroidvania refers to a mixture of 2 different types of games, Metroid and Castlevania. These games encourage exploration through revisiting previously explored areas via new abilities gained through progressing the main storyline and objectives. The term Souls-like refers to, well, let's be real, many think the difficulty of a game. Souls games like Dark Souls, Demon Souls, etc. are extremely difficult, and that is what they are largely known for. However, there is more to a Souls-like game, or the Souls games, than just game mechanics, one being storytelling through the environment and secondary methods. Hollow Knight marries these 2 genres together into a beautiful 2D game that is incredibly special. You venture into Hollow Nest and will experience memorable characters, both friend and foe, tight gameplay controls and exceptional mechanics, beautifully crafted areas in hand-drawn styles, and difficulty that will push you to get better. This game almost has it all, and it is fantastic to have the ability to take the adventure to handheld mode. The Switch is home to many RPGs of varying degrees, and that's a great thing. So to pick just one to put in this list was, well, okay, honestly, it wasn't too difficult for me. I absolutely adore Dragon Quest XI-S for so many reasons. The art style in the game is great, and is, rightly so, similar to that of Dragon Ball artwork. The music, well, the orchestrated versions of the music that was added into this version is just wonderful. The gameplay is turn-based and honed almost to perfection. The story is good and the characters are so great. Man, I love this game because I love these characters and their interactions with each other. This is a large game that will offer many hours of gameplay. What else I really enjoyed about this game? I only had to really start grinding to get to a higher level until, well, the post-game content. I never felt too underpowered or overpowered, and I recognize that each player's experience will be different, but the game has a good pacing throughout. This is a must-buy in my book. I've never really been into Minecraft. I mean, even now, I'll play with my son and have a great time, but Minecraft isn't a game I pick up by myself and play. Now, Dragon Quest Builders 2? That's a whole different thing. This game is Dragon Quest meets Minecraft. You have goals, there's a story, tools and materials become available as you unlock them through the story. Plus, you can build up each area separately in your own way outside of the story missions and goals. Having these goals and tasks greatly improve my personal experience with the game. If you're into Minecraft, or perhaps have always wanted to get into Minecraft, but it feels overwhelming to learn everything, Dragon Quest Builders 2 is a perfect game to try out. This game recently released on the Switch and other platforms, and sadly, there isn't a fantastic library of arcade-style racing games on the Switch. Sure, you have games like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but many of the games on Switch in this genre are just aren't the best. Now, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered is the exception here. It looks great on Switch, plays great, and is simply a ton of fun. This game is very simple, and that simplicity is a good thing in this case. You pick an event, each of which has various levels/races within it that unlock as you progress. You play said event as the Wanted or Cops, and that's it. Also, this game has online functionality, and it is cross-play. What this means is you can play with others that have the game on different platforms, and this is extremely good. Every time I've hopped online to play, I was in a match very quickly because of this cross-play feature, and it's just wonderful. This is a great arcade racing game to pick up for your Switch. For this one, it was hard to choose between two similar games, so I'm including them both. Overwatch and Paladins are both first-person, or third-person option Paladins, team-based online multiplayer games. They focus heavily on character types and how a team is compiled in order to win a match. Overwatch has been around for a long time, and it technically looks and runs better on more powerful hardware. But I gotta say, playing Overwatch in handheld is magical. It's a solid port and definitely worth your time and money. In fact, the game often goes on sale. When Overwatch 2 releases, you'll be able to play with those players, and you typically get 3 months of Nintendo Online for free. So yeah, it's a great buy. Paladins is the same type of game as Overwatch, but it does feel different. There are gameplay mechanics that differ, like a card upgrade system while in a match, but it is the same general concept. Choose appropriate characters to help your team win the match. Also, Paladins is free to play and doesn't require a Nintendo Online membership to play, though there are microtransactions within the game. So yeah, that's something to consider. Either way, they're both great games. Okay, if you know me or have had any conversation with me on Twitter, Discord, or when I stream, you'll probably know what this next game is. Hello Kitty Adventure Island! No, it's actually Hades. Hades is a roguelike game based in Greek mythology. You play as Zagreus, the prince of the underworld, and you want to get out. Your father Hades doesn't want you to leave. Thus begins your adventure to the surface of the world. Roguelike games are those that have elements that constantly change between each playthrough. So, for instance, you could play through the first level or area of the underworld, and it could largely be a different experience than your first time through. There are certain things that will be the same every time you play through, but much of it can change in varying levels. But perhaps that doesn't sound too good to you. You progress so far only to lose and have to do it all over again. Well, what really sets Hades apart, at least for me, is that you get story and lore almost every time you get sent back to the depths of the underworld. This game intertwines story, gameplay, and that roguelike experience into one cohesive and artistically wonderful game that is just, it's just so good. This is my personal 2020 game of the year, and I highly recommend this game for a lot of hours of gameplay and an ever-changing experience. Whew, so hopefully there's some game in that list that I just gave you that you look at and you go, you know what, that kind of seems like something I would really like. And if there wasn't, then hey, you know what? Put your favorites on the Switch. Maybe you have some favorites on the Switch that you'd like to share. Put them in the comments below. Let me know. Maybe I missed something that you'd like to point out. I'd love to see that. As always, appreciate you watching. You the best. Until next time, take it easy.